Bro, it's Dandadan, and this week's chapter was insane. I am so hyped. We got the absolute destruction of Seiko Ayase's breasticles in a moment that will live, in my mind at least, as the worst moment in recorded history. Other than that, this guy's identity was revealed, and I was totally under the impression this was Count Saint Germain. So who is he? Well, we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But for now, the best way to support Hey It's Me C and more Dandadan content isn't just to subscribe and like the video, but also check out Gamer Subs and use my partner code to get 10% off. Not only are they hell-bent on sexualizing cups to drink fluids from, but they also want to get you cranked up on caffeine to have a heart attack, read, watch, and play as much manga, anime, and games as humanly possible. So please, check them out and use the code CTACTICS to get 10% off your orders. Okay, brothers and sisters, I am both crying and dying after this chapter, but I'll tell you why that is later. This smoke guy immediately after bowing attacks Seiko Ayase, which even catches her off guard and me emotionally. It is very clear this guy has some sort of honor code from the last chapter, and happy to report he confirms that later in the chapter. He's still a dick though, but he hits Seiko with a fist to end all fists. I mean, like, look at that. Seiko even takes out a chunk of the pillar with her body, and you know from the very start that Seiko is outmatched to some degree. Like, Seiko is powerful and all, but let's be real, she feels more like a character that is more about the things she knows than just her fighting prowess. So yeah, this guy absolutely smokes Seiko in one move. You could say he fisted Seiko into oblivion. I wouldn't say that, for I have an honor code that I must abide by, but some people would. But after Granny recovers, he launches into yet another attack, going for a strong kick to the skull, but Seiko is just, I mean, she is fast enough to notice it and rolls out of the way, only to be met with insanely fast, strong, and direct, quick jabs and attacks that she has to dodge. And Seiko, I mean, yeah, she's outmatched here, but she can hold her own. She's an absolute badass and shows just why she's earned all of the aura she's gotten over the years. And that shows in her experience as well, because she is constantly thinking about what is going on in this fight and comes to the conclusion that his attacks are so obvious because he is going for her vitals and only her vitals. But this makes his attacks easier to read in the process and allows for some leeway for her to counterattack. But here is a key in all of this. You have to be on the defensive by default, and this is not something we've seen from Seiko as much. Think back to the Iron Bull fight. She was very aggro and very much on the offense. So I was absolutely worried what would come next. And it came next, all right. Oh, it came next. We have to power rank Seiko's blouse because that button is absolutely struggling. I don't know how big those things are, but it is very clear they are packed in there and bursting at the seams. I mean, they're ready to unleash their full potential, are they not? And I don't think I've seen anything quite as sturdy as powerful since, like, I don't know, Mei's incest plot armor, or better yet, Reddit. Maybe those two go hand in hand. Who knows? We never know. But seriously, this blouse has gone through 3 fights and shows no signs of ripping. I feel like we need to get Seiko in Dress Up Darling to show what makes strong clothing. Wait a second, I just got distracted. Please ignore all of that. We get this insane shot of Seiko nearly having her head taken off with this soul-piercing gaze. I love it when she does that, to show just how laser beam focused she is on this guy. And seeing an opening, she goes in for the hit of the century, only to be met with a cloud of smoke. I guess you could say she got smoked. This was the killer aspect of the fight for Seiko that she never saw coming from, and she never recovered. This guy can turn his body into smoke, which explains why he is so brazen with his hits. He can't be hit, but he can hit them. And so, to my dismay, this guy uppercuts Seiko with something you'd see straight out of Mortal Kombat. No way she wasn't knocked out after this, because her head goes straight up. He then opens up with a flurry of quick and powerful strikes to all of my hopes and dreams, as all Seiko can do is simply take it with a final blow, what he calls Seta. That sends her through a wooden beam. Now keep in mind, these beams are sturdy and these hold up these castles and keep them held up for hundreds of years. They aren't just pieces of wood. They have insane forces applied to them, and Seiko was sent through 2 of them like it was tissue paper and nearly through the wall as well. Time for the good stuff though, fellas. Just one reminder before we do though, drop a like and subscribe if you thought that was hype as fudge. The identity of this guy is revealed to be Eninra, who is a smoke yokai based on real-life Japanese folklore. And if you want, let me know in the comments. I'll make a follow-up video about that, kind of like I did with the Ogre Club and Uchide no Kozuchi. But this confirms that this is not Count Saint Germain, which my comments pointed out to me as well last week. A lot of you were very mad at me about that. Sorry. So he presses his boot to her chest, her chesticle, and essentially tells her that she must accept her defeat as she cannot win against him, showing what we all fear. Seiko is just no match for the smoke. But even then, Seiko has balls as massive as her blouse's power ranking. She calls him out, says his ability is a total sham and his warrior shtick is as well, which is true to some degree. He is no warrior, he is just a guy that fools people with one trick, so far at least, which is a mega hot cosplay of Smoker from One Piece minus the cancer from the cigars. Or maybe he is cancer. I don't know. I also love it as well. Seiko once again uses her strong asset, her long legs of course, to strike his junk, his own vital point I guess, in an attempt to disperse him in some way, which is smart, and I'll talk about why that is later in the video too, because there's some details in here a lot of people were missing. But for her efforts, she is kicked with ease and called a pig, which is not true! Seiko is not a pig! She's a grandmother, and her hips are as hard to explain as quantum computing. You're all smoke, Inra, you're all smoke. And you know, things are very bad when Momo looks back and feels a disturbance in the force as Vamola, aww, she's just so cute, she's got a tiny Momo on her noggin. But as Seiko lays on the ground with her shirt button defeated by Eninra and those things popping out, and let me tell you, that's important because now we know Eninra is stronger than Seiko's blouse, which is something nobody has been able to defeat up until this point, not even Seiko herself. He stands on her diaphragm and essentially crushes her until she almost dies. And can I say, Tatsu, man, is so good at drawing blood on a character's face because Seiko already looks dead, and in some regards, it's actually quite hard to look at. And so the chapter ends with Evil Eye dragging the corpse of a ninja along to face off against Eninra, which I am sure will be just as hype as this chapter was, and I am so hyped for next Monday. Or should I say, next Dandadan. So I got theories on how they could defeat Eninra. Since any sort of blow disperses him into smoke, if they are able to use like gusts of wind in tandem with multiple people or just like quick and successive strikes, this could very well allow them to figure out a way to defeat him or keep him on the defense. But my guess is that this won't be the smoking gun, eh? Since this is Dandadan with the dum-de-dums, I could see them doing something stupidly simple, like using a filter like a cigarette, getting a vacuum cleaner and just vacuuming it up. That would be kind of funny. But these are all just ideas. I'm actually going to do some research on Eninra during the week as a yokai to see what Tatsu may be cooking up and to see just how his powers work, and if there are any other weaknesses that we just don't know without research. So if we get enough comments asking for it, I'll report my findings. Yes, I am holding you hostage via SEO aura farming. Don't blame the player, blame the game. If you haven't, check out my Chainsaw Man channel and my main channel for seasonal anime content. Join my Discord as well. We're currently there every evening EST time playing Cyberpunk, Persona 5 Royale, watching all sorts of anime. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.